आई थिंक MBA से भी ज़्यादा लोग तो खैर कॉर्पोरेट जॉब में सीखते होंगे, करिकुलम से तो कुछ समझ में आता नहीं होगा मेरे को लगता कुछ स्टार्टअप करके you learn like 5x more than an MBA. Any day I will hire a person who has spent time in a startup compared to someone who has done an MBA, क्योंकि उसने तो रियल में देखा है ना. So Amazon does not reflect the same Amazon then, right? Amazon reflects the model that they operate in today. If someone comes in and copies our model, then it's a different thing altogether, right? Then we can't say that we will not compete. Then it's a different thing. Then it's about market share, who is going to serve our consumers better. But given Amazon in the current model, I think we can compete and we can beat them. And the opportunity size, to me, you might laugh at this number. I think it's a $200 billion opportunity. I keep saying this internally, and almost everyone laughs at it. But I genuinely believe that it is that kind of. So it is going to be bigger than Flipkart, Amazon in India.
You must be thinking another pre-roll? Wait, let me just skip it. With all theory, there are some boring things which you can avoid, like the long wait for promotions or increments, or the numerous interviews before you land your dream job. At All Tuning, we make sure that you're future ready and skilled to be in the top 0.5% class. Click on the link in the description now.
सो रिवर्स लॉजिस्टिक्स इज वन थिंग, राइट. अब आप ऑर्डर करते हो ई-कॉमर्स में, एक आदमी डिलीवर करने आता है, बट रिटर्न करते हो तो रिटर्न पिकअप करने के लिए एक अलग आदमी आता है. बहुत लोग ऑब्वियसली सोचते हैं यार इन दोनों चीज़ों को मिक्स क्यों नहीं कर देते कि एक साथ ही करना चाहिए. हैविंग सीन इट एट अ माइक्रो लेवल एट द इंटरेक्शन, मुझे काफ़ी क्लियर था कि यार मेरी जो एफिशिएंसी है वो रिटर्न पिकअप की तभी ज़्यादा आएगी अगर मैं एक इंडिपेंडेंट आदमी को रिटर्न पिकअप से कराने लगूँगा. देयर सफिशिएंटली डिफरेंशिएटेड सप्लाई चेन्स ऑफ बोथ दिस थिंग्स, और ये इनसाइट मेरे को क्लियर थी.
Rahul, I remember while we were speaking, you told me that it was around this time when, the biggest setback of your life was around this time when this hyperlocal business did not work out. So tell us a little bit about that time. क्या हुआ आपके personal life में भी कुछ चल रहा था शायद उस time पे?
So first few months of entrepreneurship was great for us, right? Business was
तभी
working.
तो kick होती है, मजा आता है.
Business was working, we were growing, we raised money effortlessly, there was PR, people were coming happy to join us. But then when we started to do this and we got into this war time with competition, lots of burn, we were burning so much money every month.
कितना चला रहे थे?
I think at our peak we were burning 2 CR per month. So that was quite a lot. And those are very stressful times. Then you are taking decisions that impact a lot of people within your company. Of course, personally it does. It impacts your investors, everyone else. So many delivery boys that we had. So those are stressful times. And most of your decisions assume that something is going to work 6 months, 4 months down the line. And there is uncertainty around future, right? So you are the one who are responsible to take those calls, assuming this is going to happen, even if in the short term it seems like it's the almost. So those are very, very hard decisions to take. So that was really, really hard time. Of course, it didn't work out.
So Pickingo के बाद you decided, अच्छा अभी startup को थोड़ा break देते हैं और jobs करते हैं. You mentioned about Shuttl quite a few times. You mentioned about how you were good friends with the co-founder of that company. Shuttl क्यों join किया फिर आपने?
So Shuttl again, I think one is the first reason was it was Amit, and knowing him, I would anyway do whatever he would do. And the second thing was that Shuttl was also solving a very interesting problem. The premise was this, that lots of people are commuting from home to their work on long distances, and many of them are either doing through car, which is like one person is just occupying out of the 5 seats available in a car, which is very inefficient, right? And there's this other option which is metro, where more than one people is actually occupying that seat, way more than one. There are no seats, right? You're typically standing. So there has to be somewhere in the middle, which is exactly one person per seat, which is going to be the most efficient and most comfortable way to travel. And that is what exactly Shuttl was. It was transformative for people for whom it worked. People used to travel 2.5 hours one way on Shuttl, and this was like lots and lots of people. Such routes, like people from Indirapuram coming to Gurgaon to work, it takes 2.5 hours one way and then 3 hours back. So 5.5 hours, and we would have like 20 buses on this route. So that amount of people, and think about that. So for them it was transformational. Any other option, be it metro, car, all of them are way inferior to this.
So what were you doing there? I mean, what was your contribution to the entire system that was happening at that time?
So when I joined, so my role was basically efficiency. How are we going to make money? How do we change our offering in such a way that we are more efficient, but we don't lose out on the consumers? So few things we did, moved away from small buses to large buses, shut down small routes, we only worked on larger routes, figured out ways to how to utilize our buses more, how can we increase prices strategically such that, it still works out for the consumer and also helps us, be sustainable. So there were like these 5-6 levers involved in getting to profitability, which we worked on, and we got to profitability in Delhi. So mostly we were in Delhi, in one city, for majority of our life. Later we added Pune, Kolkata and other cities, but still core city used to be Delhi, and getting that to profitability was a big deal. And once we got that helped us, raise our next rounds. The next thing that I was trying to do there was, what are the other markets that we need to capture, and how do we expand beyond this core market of metros? So I went around in cities like Jajjar, Rewari, figuring out, what is the mobility product that works for them. And what I saw was, these cities are basically so efficient in transportation because of this asset called e-rickshaw. So very cheap, always available, goes wherever you want to. It is like such a superior Ola, Uber. They don't even cancel and they're always there.
At least not that we know of.
Yeah. No, they're just right there. Built a thesis around there, that e-rickshaws are very underutilized overall. And if we can increase their utilization, we will be able to make money. Plus, all the market size and relevance is very big. So throughout my life, I had been very demand constrained in all my businesses. So I knew that whatever I need to do in tier 2, tier 3. It has to be relevant for like 50% of India. Otherwise, I don't want to do anything. I want to do something which is relevant for everyone and then build on top, add value to more people. So which means that it has to be tier 2. Jio is coming in, TikTok was booming. I knew that there are opportunities there, and knowing mobility and logistics, this felt like such a good fit for me, and I had to jump in.
Koko क्यों नाम रखो?
मैं बताता हूँ. Simple, had to be only 2 syllables. But I think this is like one of the other learnings. So startup करते हैं लोग और पहले 2 महीने लगाते हैं वेबसाइट बनाएंगे. और लोगो और 10 चीज़ें ये सब टाइम वेस्ट करते हैं, कंपनी रजिस्टर कराते हैं, तो वो सब एकदम यूजलेस है. कोर पे जाओ जहाँ पे एकदम तुम्हें लगता है कि यार नेक्स्ट बॉटलनेक कहाँ पे आने वाला है तुम्हारी थीसिस में, सबसे पहले वो फिगर आउट करो, तभी समझ में आएगा कि क्या
था वो बॉटलनेक क्या था
यार. टेस्ट करना. तो मेरे लिए तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ ये थी कि यार कैन वी एक्चुअली इंक्रीज यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ दी ई-रिक्शास. तो हम झज्जर गए, बैठ गए वहाँ पे 1-2 महीना, वहीं पे हम पिच करते थे ड्राइवर्स को, ये करो. उनके साथ ही बात करके हमने धीरे धीरे अपनी पिच सुधारी, उनको ऑन बोर्ड किया, हमारा जो मॉडल था उसके हिसाब से उनको डिमांड लेके आए, एंड देन ट्राई टू फिगर आउट क्या चल रहा है.
प्रॉब्लम कहाँ हुई फिर? आई मीन यू सॉ दैट देयर वाज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, आपको कुछ करना था, कहाँ प्रॉब्लम शुरू हुई?
तो बेसिकली डिमांड साइड पे सब कुछ was working very well, we were growing very quickly. The problem was more around fundraising because COVID hit right after 6 months after we launched. For 6 months, so it was absolutely zero for the first right after lockdown hit, which meant demand went away. But after 6 months, demand actually came back. But the capital markets were not willing to invest in a business which was facing such headwinds and such uncertainty from the pandemic. They would rather invest in a sector which has tailwinds such as edtech. Those are the businesses which are booming.
Or say a Swiggy Genie.
Or maybe a grocery startup such as a City Mall, right, where it works really well during the pandemic. So yeah, I think so. We got caught there, but I think the opportunity still exists. I'm still bullish. The thesis is still playing out.
Are you still working on
someone
Koko
else will
sometime?
do it. No, I'm all in City Mall now. Maybe I will work within City Mall on the same thing.
Let's talk about City Mall now. ये एक City Mall मुझे पता है जो ऐसे बहुत बड़ा एक मेगा शॉप है, जैसे विशाल मेगा शॉप, ये वो ऐसे tier 2 tier 3 सिटीज में होते हैं. ये कौन सा सिटी मॉल है? ये कैसा वाला सिटी मॉल है?
ये
और आप आए क्यों?
नाम तो ऐसे ही आया था इसका सिटी मॉल का. ये कहीं सूरत में बैठ के अंगद ने वहाँ पे एक सिटी मॉल है तो उसी का ही सिटी मॉल कुछ बनाया था इन्होंने. मैंने क्योंकि मेरे लिए तो सेम ही लॉजिक था. I was still bullish on tier 2, tier 3. A market which is again demand unconstrained, massive market, grocery, adding huge value, and the model made sense.
बट टिकट साइज होती है क्या वहाँ पे? टियर 2 टियर 3 में मैसिव मार्केट तो है बट टिकट साइज का
टिकट साइज नहीं होती तभी अपॉर्चुनिटी है. अगर वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती तो Amazon, Flipkart अभी तक they would have done it. What is interesting about City Mall is that we are able to reach and serve the next 500 million consumers in a much more efficient way than any other model possible, at least in the current way. So I don't know if you guys, how many of you are here from tier 2, tier 3 cities like Rewari, Sonipat, Panipat? Which city is this? Hisar, right? So Hisar, Amazon and Flipkart grocery penetration would be negligible, like almost maybe 0.1%. But if we were to launch Hisar, we would launch it with community leaders. And these community leaders will create demand. They will acquire consumers around them. We will have great density to each consumer. So then we are going to bypass that problem of ticket size. Then we are not delivering one order. We are delivering 8 orders. And when you deliver 8 orders, then you can actually serve it profitably because the logistics cost is pretty much the same, right? If you're delivering 1 order versus 8 orders, it is the same thing. But for Amazon and Flipkart to get to 8 order density, it is very hard. It is going to take them a long time.
थोड़ा एग्जाम्पल से समझते हैं अभी ये कम्युनिटी लीडर्स कौन है, कैसे जनरेट होता है ये डिमांड जो आप बोल रहे हो, और एंड टू एंड सप्लाई चेन कैसे वर्क करता है यहाँ पे?
तो कम्युनिटी लीडर्स बेसिकली these are micro entrepreneurs. It could be housewife, it could be someone who has some kind of a shop, maybe an electrician, maybe a mechanic, maybe a barber. These milk delivery people, these guys are also a very good set. An ex-teacher, people who are unemployed, like a lot of them are basically unemployed people. So this is a typical persona of a community leader there. Now this person, a lot of people around them, and none of them are actually transacting online because it's very hard, right? If they try to order from the current incumbents, they would ask for a delivery fee, they would ask for a minimum order value कि 500 का order तो होगा तभी आएगा, नहीं तो 60-70 रुपये लेंगे हम. तो it's not attractive for us. So this person goes and says, okay, you order whatever, there is no minimum order value, and I will get it delivered to you tomorrow, and you are getting it at a cheaper price than what you would anyway get from the kirana store. So it's a very good sales pitch. So this guy then goes on and acquires consumers. So let's say one person gets acquired and he orders that whatever he wants to order. He ordered, say, dal. He ordered this 100 rupees dal, and then what happens is that we receive this order on our backend. We pack it in our warehouse, which are more central warehouses. Then this is shipped to the community leader, and now this community, we get the money from the community leader, and this community leader then goes on and delivers it to the end consumer. And this is for like one, but we will not actually deliver one order because there is density. We would have actually had like 5 orders there. So then it would make sense for us commercially to actually do it.
आप बल्क ऑर्डर्स लेते हो, राइट? बल्क ऑर्डर लेने के बाद एक पॉइंट पे जाके उसको ड्रॉप करते हो, फिर उसका जिम्मा होता है कि वो सारे जगह पे ये करे.
पैसे का भी उसी का जिम्मा है, हम तो उसी से पैसे ले लेते हैं.
अभी सपोज टुमारो Amazon डिसाइड्स कि Amazon ने जो अपने स्टोर्स टियर 1 में बनाए वो टियर 2 टियर 3 में भी बनाएगा, स्टोर्स बनाएगा, या फिर ऐसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल्स बनाएगा जहाँ पे उसकी चीज़ें अवेलेबल हैं. आप compete कर पाओगे Amazon के साथ?
Does not reflect the same Amazon then, right? Amazon reflects the model that they operate in today. If someone comes in and copies our model, then it's a different thing altogether, right? Then we can't say that we will not compete. Then it's a different thing. Then it's about market share, who is going to serve our consumers better. But given Amazon in the current model, I think we can compete and we can beat them.
So when did City Mall start? How did you come to know about City Mall? आपको लगा कि अच्छा ये तो सही वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है, ये मेरे जितनी भी चीज़ें मैंने की है उसके साथ फिट होता है, हाँ. तो मैं ये करूँगा. कब हुआ?
So this was last year, and this was exactly my reasoning. This fits everything with me. I understand e-commerce. I like tier 2, tier 3, and internet, early stage internet startup is something that I like. So it was very obvious to me.
So all throughout your life, Rahul, if I have to say, स्टार्टअप्स का पीछा आपने कभी नहीं छोड़ा या फिर स्टार्टअप्स ने आपका पीछा कभी नहीं छोड़ा है, राइट? कभी ऐसा नहीं लगा कि एक बड़े टेक जाइंट के लिए काम करते हैं, ऐसा लगा नहीं कभी?
वन वे स्ट्रीट है. आई थिंक once you go towards startup, I don't think you can do anything else. And once you have the taste of zero pretense, working on only the things that matters, you're solving for consumers, not your boss. इसकी जब आदत लग जाती है फिर I don't think you can go back to basically I'm not very skilled in all of that.
क्यों बोला आपने आप skilled नहीं हो in that?
I'll not be so skilled in pleasing people, right?
MBA करते तो change होता है ये?
MBA तो बिल्कुल नहीं. I think MBA से भी ज़्यादा लोग तो खैर corporate job में सीखते होंगे. MBA में you get, and again you get his network, right? You get to meet very smart people around you. Curriculum से तो कुछ समझ में आता नहीं होगा, मेरे को लगता कुछ. Startup करके you learn like 5x more than an MBA. Any day I will hire a person who has spent time in a startup compared to someone who has done an MBA, क्योंकि उसने तो रियल में देखा है ना.
Tell me a little bit about the growth that you have seen. आप जब से हो या फिर आपने इससे पहले भी देखा है, what City Mall is doing right now, how big City Mall has become, and what is your vision as a chief business officer there that you have?
So we are going extremely fast, right? And so we have been growing 30% month on month continuously. This is very, very hot, right? And a lot of this growth comes from same cities. Only like half of it maybe would come from new cities, but a lot of this comes from same consumers coming back, buying more, getting more people through referrals. So it is working really well. Like, in terms of overall scale, I think for the density we are only in around like 20-22 towns of India. Our philosophy has always been go deep first. Horizontal expansion will always be very easy to do. We'll be able to. There are challenges around like first year, second, third, fifth city, but the challenges from going from 50th to 60th are going to be smaller as compared to like the initial scale up that you have done. So we are going very deep right now. Then we are going to expand horizontally. And the opportunity size, to me, you might laugh at this number. I think it's a $200 billion opportunity. I keep saying this internally, and almost everyone laughs at it. But I genuinely believe that it is that kind of. So it is going to be bigger than Flipkart, Amazon in India. Just by looking at the number of people we are relevant to. They are relevant to Flipkart is maybe relevant to 70 million people in India.
Flipkart relevant है अभी?
70, yeah, it is. I think it is, man. In terms of top tier cities, maybe Amazon kills it, but in the next level, Flipkart is doing pretty well. And then beyond, City Mall will do really well.
Last question before I open it up to the audience to ask you questions. This year round, we have themed this particular Conversations Cafe as the $1 million scale, right?
Yeah.
You're very bullish. You have said this at least thrice in this talk itself that you're very bullish about tier 2, tier 3 coming to the forefront in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Somebody who's coming from a tier 2, tier 3 city, what is that skill that they need in their life to be set for the next decade?
No one knows anything. Think for yourself. That is basically what I have learned. Because if you look back, everyone's resume of what they said is going to happen and what happened, everybody has a shabby resume. So don't be overwhelmed when people say that this is going to happen. If you make up your own mind, think through why this is going to happen, even if you are wrong 10 times, by the 11th time you will know why you are wrong. You build that mental model of why. So just don't follow. Just go to the fundamental reason of why that decision you have come to, and then you will get into that habit. And I think that has served me really, really well. And I learned it from like my Jabong days, where everyone was asking why you're doing this and why you're doing this, and that helps a lot. So it's like learn to think.
Superb. Rahul, thank you very much for this candid conversation. Time flew by, and I'm opening this for the audience today.
Hi, I'm Shaurya, and my question to you is, like you said, in a way you empower people there as community leaders, so you employ them, you give them this sense, especially in times of COVID. It's a really big thing that you do. But maybe some years down the line, your entire structure would be more automated, like it is in tier 1 cities right now. For example, here nobody needs a community leader in order to place an order. So would you take responsibility then for the employment of those community leaders?
Yeah.
Very good question.
So it's around sustainability of the model, right? That long term, does the community leader model still work or not? So two things it does. One, because they are not just adding the demand side, they are also fulfilling demand. So if they are not full, so someone actually has to go and deliver that order, right? So it is sustainable in that way. And first thing is that these people are linked to these community leaders. So they are always going to be associated. For them, they are not really buying from City Mall. They are buying from this community leader. So they are really their customers. So for us to cut them out, so we don't want to cut them out, right? So for us, they will always be in the system, and there is value, for our economics to make sense. They are fine, right? They are fine forever. It doesn't mean that it gets automated because these guys can place an order. We are going to cut them out. That's not going to happen, right?
My question essentially is, since your model in a way goes against the kirana stores, right?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like, or don't you fear government intervention or regulation down the road?
I don't know why the government is going to rule against community leaders. Those guys are also kirana owners in a way. They have their small virtual stores. But I think the logic is that everybody is free to do business, and the superior business model has to win. So it's a capitalist market, right?
All right. Thank you very much, Rahul, for this session. I think it was a very informative one. It gave us a perspective that we often don't see. On that note, let's give him a big round of applause, guys.
You must be thinking another pre-roll? Wait, let me just skip it. With Alt-Uni, there are some boring things which you can avoid, like the long wait for promotions or increments, or the numerous interviews before you land your dream job. At Alt-Uni, we make sure that you're future ready and skilled to be in the top 0.5% class. Click on the link in the description now.